Good evening. I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the San Ramon Valley Unified School District Board of Education for Tuesday, December 13th. We'll start by taking attendance. We have Trustee Suzanne Ordway. Ms. Clark is absent this evening. Laura Bratt and Vice President Rachel Hurd.
Hello.
And myself, current President Ken Mintz, for at least the next 5 minutes. This evening, we're going to start with our organization of the board first, and then go into closed session and return for the regular meeting, the rest of the regular meeting at 7 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to call up, I have a speaker card on this item of the annual organization of the board. That is one item, so our speaker has 3 minutes. Mr. Country.
Okay, so I'm Taiwan's country. Mr. President, please clarify, are you telling me that I cannot speak on separate items, 3.A, 3.B?
Right, it's one item.
It's one item?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the oath of office, I would like to speak on, I was able to find the election result for just your district only. I'm not sure why I couldn't find the results in today's supervisors meeting for Ms. Hurd's district and Ms. Orway's district. So I don't know if it was my mistake, but it might be worth a while to check into it because it contains, details of the election. And I want to congratulate all of you for being elected, and especially the experienced ones. I'm really glad that you guys are staying. So that's for A. And for B, election of officers, pretty much the same as A, except that next time I hope that you can possibly allow the public to partake in your oath, which really is a political testament to our democracy. And so to have it as agendized as closed session, which was a little bit misleading, the agenda that was sent out to the public, it says closed session. Right here, you added open session on your tonight's agenda, but the electronic one that we received stated closed session. And so, for the public's benefit, next time, please make sure that we're aware that this is, something we can participate. Regarding 23-24 Board of Education meeting calendar, I would like you to please double check with the city, who is currently in charge of the teen council. They are recruiting people always to attend city council or city teen council meeting on the same day as your board meeting, which I feel has 2 conflicts of interest. Number one, they are working on activities and action items these teen councils pass, but do not have your approval, which really is a violation of jurisdiction. Even though they're teens and they're students of our school district, they don't really have the political power to say, I'm going to, implement these actions or these activities. They really have to come to you for approval. And then, depending on your consent or denial, then, you can properly notify the principal. Otherwise, they jeopardize our good principals in an awkward position because they're coming from the city government council. So what is the principal supposed to do? This is to protect our employee as well. And also to make sure that they don't have any activities that you do not approve. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, at this point in time, I'm not sure if there's anything to respond to.
Could we answer the question about why Susanna Ordway and I wouldn't have appeared in the elections report at the county today?
Sure.
It's because we ran unopposed, and so we weren't on the ballot. And therefore, there were no votes taken, and so that's why. It's as if it didn't happen. So I just wanted you to understand why it worked that way.
Okay, at this time, I get the honor to administer the oath of office to our new board member, as well as the 2 other re-elected board members. So if the 3 of you, Jesse Van Zee, Suzanne Ordway, and Rachel Hurd, will join me up in front here. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me, I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties on which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
So our next agenda item in the organization meeting is election of officers. So may I first have a nomination for the office of president?
I'd like to nominate Rachel Hurd.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Okay. Assuming there are no other nominations, we'll vote on that one. All in favor, please say aye. I guess, do we do the roll call probably for this too? Okay.
The motion was made by Board Member Ordway and seconded by Board Member Bratt. Roll call vote. Board Member Ordway.
Aye.
Board Member Bratt.
Aye.
Board Member Hurd.
Aye.
Board Member Van Zee.
Aye.
The motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we'll have nominations for the office of vice president.
I'm going to make another nomination. I'd like to nominate Laura Bratt.
I'd like to second that.
Right.
The motion was made by Board Member Ordway and seconded by Board Member Van Zee. Roll call vote. Board Member Ordway.
Aye.
Board Member Bratt.
Aye.
Board Member Hurd.
Aye.
Board Member Van Zee.
Aye.
The motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and then last, we have a nomination for, may I have the nomination for the clerk position?
I'll nominate Trustee Clark.
Second.
And we have confirmed that she would like that nomination. So, all in favor, Cindy, please call the,
The motion was made by Board Member Bratt and seconded by Board Member Ordway. Roll call vote. Board Member Ordway.
Aye.
Board Member Bratt.
Aye.
Board Member Hurd.
aye.
Board Member Van Zee.
Aye.
The motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and when we return from closed session, we'll actually scoot into our normal seats for those positions, but we didn't want to play musical chairs right now. Okay, next thing here is the adoption of our Board of Education meeting calendar for the 23-24 school year. And that is listed in front of us on the dais here, I think.
I have a request. I have a family conflict on December 12th and wanted to see if we could change that meeting to, instead of Tuesday the 12th, to either Wednesday the 13th or Thursday the 14th of December, 2023.
I think there's no problem with that. I have a conflict on the 14th, or would have a conflict with closed session on the 14th, so we make it the 13th.
Does that work for your staff?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Any other comments from other board members?
Thank you.
Okay, so can we have a motion to adopt the calendar as amended?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
The motion was made by Board Member Ordway and seconded by Board Member Bratt. Roll call vote. Board Member Ordway,
Aye.
Board Member Bratt,
Aye.
Board Member Hurd,
Aye.
Board Member Van Zee.
Aye.
The motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and then the last thing in this organizational meeting is committee assignments, and I'm gonna,
We did have a revision for the 22-23 board calendar in which we asked for April 18th to be moved to the 25th and the workshop scheduled for January 31st be moved to January 11th.
can we do that if it's not listed here on the agenda as action? Because it just says 23, 24.
You may not.
Okay, so we'll do that in February.
We made that correction. It didn't. That's right. The workshop does not need to be approved, but the change in the date does. So we will bring it back to the January meeting, and I apologize.
Okay, but we could just do it as an information item during the open session, right? Or we could do it as well, we don't have information.
We'll bring it back.
Well, okay. All right, so now committee assignments. Dr. Malloy and Cindy, I'm going to turn it to you because I think you have some information for us about where people's interests lie.
And since I'm still recovering from my laryngitis, Cindy is going to take this.
It's a pleasure. We asked our trustees to please share their interest in order to help this agenda item move along a little quicker this evening. So I will share with you each of the committees and who has expressed interest, and then you can decide among yourself if that is if it will work or if we need to make a change. So the first is the Danville Town Council, and we have Board Member Van Zee and Board Member Clark have expressed interest, and we need one and an alternate. Great.
And both one and the alternate can attend all meetings.
The next is the Facilities Oversight Advisory Committee. We have three of you that have expressed interest. Board Member Van Zee, Board Member Ordway, and Board Member Clark. We would like to have two for this committee. So if you could have a quick discussion. The other thing I'd like to say is there is a Facilities Master Plan Committee, which is a new committee for us this year. Ideally, the two trustees that are sitting on FOAC would also participate in the Facilities Master Plan Committee, but that is not another option that if the three of you wanted to participate in these two committees, two could choose to participate in FOAC and one could choose to participate in Facilities Master Plan and have one that goes between the two. Just a suggestion.
Can I ask, not that I'm part of the three, but who has interest in FOAC and who has interest? 'Cause I think those three are all kind of
Yes.
connected, and it might be nice to spread it out a little bit if we can.
FOAC is Van Zee, Ordway, and Clark, and Facilities Master Plan Committee is Clark. Yes. Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, the only comment I would have is, I think, what's the word I want to say? The best, I think, would be if we have someone as a board liaison for Danville as well as San Ramon, because of FOAC, it's, talking about, I think the oversight for the whole district and our facilities use. And all our facilities are both, in Danville and San Ramon.
And I kind of like the idea of sharing the wealth on facilities. So, I mean, I think if two want to do FOAC and another wants to do, and we can have the overlap. I mean, Shelley has a lot of experience on FOAC, and so does Susanna. So I think letting Jesse have a taste of that makes sense, and then have Shelley or Susanna, whichever one wants to be on the master plan. Makes sense. Would we be getting into any Brown Act issues because it'd be, FOAC is looking at the old projects and the master plan would be looking forward, right?
I believe so, not that we're
Yeah,
aware of,
there are
I'm
no-
happy to check.
There are no Brown Act issues.
Can I mention something too? I would like to be, I know I sent my list late and everything, and I maybe wasn't clear about where, I would like to be on one of those three, and I'm comfortable with whichever one no one else wants. If there's two are there two for each? So there's 6 spots, or
Four scores, two for each.
aren't there
There's-
3 committees?
I'm sorry, what's that third
Aren't-
committee that you're thinking of?
Parcel tax would be different.
Oh, parcel tax.
That's
Oh,
different.
okay.
Okay.
That's where I'm getting.
And we actually don't have anyone that's expressed interest in parcel tax, so there's an opportunity there too.
That's perfect.
Would you be interested in that? Great.
So
Okay,
how
so
about
we still-
to honor what Shelley, what Susanna suggested about different town perspective? If we went with Jesse and Susanna on FOAC, because then we've got the two jurisdictions. And then on facilities master plan, go with Shelley, and then Susanna, did you want that one too?
Yeah, because I think it
Or
was, there was
Laura,
a
did
note.
you want to get into the facilities world?
Right.
Never really
Well, I
discussed
would, but yes, I would. Yes, I would. But then with it, well, yes.
that. Then we'd
If-
have Shelley for Danville and Laura for San Ramon. Does
Right.
that work for you?
Yeah,
Susanna?
no, that's, I
mean,
was
does that
guessing
give you the
just
one you
Laura for
want?
that one.
Okay.
Okay, so to clarify, for FOAC, it will be Jesse and Susanna, and for the Facilities Master Plan Committee, it will be Shelley and Laura. The next was parcel tax oversight, and Lori, you expressed interest in that, so I've signed your name there. San Ramon City Council, we have Laura and Susanna have both expressed interest, and for that committee, we would like one and an alternate, so that's perfect. And if I'm moving too fast, please stop me if you'd like to have further discussion.
Do you guys want to work out who's the main person and who's the alternate, or do you want to just keep that loose? Which is kind of always there anyways.
Right, yeah, and there might be meetings I have anyway, so you can be the.
Yeah,
It's-
we'll
it is
coordinate
never-
offline.
It is never an issue.
Yeah.
2 board members can be there, and we don't usually say who the alternate and who the lead is anyway.
Okay.
Okay, next is traffics, and Laura and Rachel have expressed interest. After that, we have the Contra Costa Board of Supervisors, District 2 Supervisor, and Jesse, you've expressed interest in that committee. Moving along, we have San Ramon Valley City Citizen Corps Council. Jesse again has expressed interest. District Negotiations, Rachel. LCAP Development Committee, we have Laura and Shelley who have expressed interest. The SRVC, the San Ramon Valley Council PTA Ledge Action Committee, and then there's also the San Ramon Valley Council PTA President's Council. For the Ledge Committee, Susanna has expressed interest, and for the President's Council, Susanna, Rachel, and Shelley have expressed interest. And along with our parent groups, I'm going to share the third group, which is the San Ramon Valley Education Foundation. And for that committee, Susanna and Shelley have expressed interest. So as you can see, we need 1 to 2 for each of these committees. Susanna, for the Action Committee, we have 3 that have expressed interest for the President's Council. And then we only need 1 for the Education Foundation.
So, I am okay with stepping down as board liaison for the President's Council. And I will, since I'm the only one who's interested in the ledge, I can help
Right.
out there.
And since the Ed Foundation is just one represented listed there, let Susanna continue in that, because she's currently that person.
So then we clarify, we would have Susanna for the Ledge Action Committee. We would have Rachel and Shelley for the President's Council, and Susanna would continue with the Ed Foundation.
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, the SELPA, or the Community Advisory Committee, we need 1 to 2, and we have Laura and Rachel. And I hope you don't mind that I'm using first names and we've gotten a little informal here. Street Smarts Advisory Committee, Jesse has expressed interest. The CSBA Region 7-8 delegate, Rachel has expressed interest, but Rachel, you're going to share a little bit more with us about
Yes.
the other delegate position.
So the the position I currently have for the delegate is a 2-year term, so that one is not really appropriate for us to move. But the timing is right for right now, that if another one of you wants to be a delegate to CSBA, there's a process where you put in an application and then you're on a ballot that the rest of the boards, including our board, vote on around March. Because we can have 2 if they're elected that way. So if anyone's interested, our board would nominate you, and we could do that tonight. And then you fill out the paperwork by January 7th, and then the paperwork gets submitted. So if anyone else is interested in that, we can make that nomination.
Can you talk a little bit about what it is, the commitment, just so that?
Yeah, it's listed here. The delegates meet twice a year in May for like a day-and-a-half meeting, and then they meet again right before the annual conference. So that's usually very end of November, very beginning of December week. The delegates are part of Delegate Assembly, which includes the board of directors of CSBA and past presidents, and they are basically the policy body for CSBA. They create the pillars. So it's not a huge time commitment. It's just kind of, do you want to get involved in that next level?
In another election, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind
Do
of.
we need to
Just-
do that
just-
again? Yeah.
Just with, I mean, it might be a lot for you to take on in your first year.
Yeah.
Maybe get your toes wet. Maybe get involved in the county level group first to
I
see
think
if
that's a great
that's kind of your thing. But you guys have been to CSBA years before. I was just, wanted to put it out there if you were interested.
I think I'm going to pass this year, personally, just from a time standpoint.
I think I'm also gonna.
Okay. I just
Sure.
wanted to be transparent about that was an option.
Okay, next is the Contra Costa County School Boards Association. And we don't have and no one raised their hand for this one.
Oh, I put it down that I was interested,
Okay.
but I wanted to give anybody else who wanted a go at it to
All
take
right.
it if they wanted.
So we'll put this down for Rachel unless anyone else would like to throw their hat in the ring. Okay, Rachel, this one's yours.
Okay.
All right, we're nearing the end here. The next on our committee assignment in the board packet, we had noted that one board member was requested, but 2 can be on these committees. So I just wanted to clarify that. Access to Excellence, we are looking for 2. Shelley has stepped up. If anyone else would like to be on Access to Excellence, please let me know. This time we have Shelley. I'm going to move along and then stop me, please, if you're thinking. Equity Steering Committee, Laura has expressed interest. Social Emotional Wellbeing Steering Committee, Susanna and Shelley. Deep Learning Innovation Steering Committee, would recommend 2, and we have 3. Jesse, Susanna, and Rachel have expressed interest. And along with Deep Learning is also the Profile of the Learner, in which Susanna and Rachel have expressed interest, and the Grading Reform Committee, in which Laura and Shelley have expressed interest. So I'm going to go back to Deep Learning. Okay, let me put you down.
And just so I could clarify, all 3 of those at this time are pretty heavy lifting. We're going to be doing considerable work in all 3 areas.
The grade reform was Laura, Shelley.
Grade Reform is Laura, Shelley, Rachel. Profile of the Learner, Susanna and Rachel. Deep Learning, Jesse, Susanna, and Rachel.
I really want grade reform. I have high schoolers that are experiencing some of this, and as a parent, I feel like I can have some insight into that world that I think would be helpful for the committee. So I just want to put that out there.
And since I think Profile of the Learner and Deep Learning is related, I'm okay having Jesse go with Deep Learning, and I'd like to, if I can take the Profile of the Learner.
And then if that works out for me to keep Deep Learning Profile of the Learner, I'll back off of Grade Reform Committee, which I've been a part of for a couple of years, and then Shelley.
Perfect. So let me recap. Deep Learning is Jesse and Rachel. Profile of the Learner, Susanna and Rachel. And Grade Reform will be Laura and Shelley. And the last one this evening is DLAC, District English Learner Advisory Committee. And again, we're looking for someone to raise their hand on that one.
Oh, no one said interest. I'll take it.
Thank you, Susanna. Okay, so before I pass it back to you, Rachel, does anyone have any clarification, questions, thoughts? Okay, pass it back to you.
All right, so I see. Okay, perfect. So that finishes up the organizational meeting. Now this is the point in the agenda where we disclose what is on the closed session agenda. And just to clarify, and it's in some of the board bylaws stuff we're going to discuss in open session later, is that this is actually the process that we have been using for at least the last year, but it's also the process we're supposed to have, where we open an open session, we adjourn to closed session, and we come back to open session. So I just want to make sure the public understands that this is normal. It's just usually there isn't any business to do before we go into closed session, but tonight there was the organizational meeting part. Okay, so for 4.0 acceptance of closed session agenda and public comment, the closed session agenda includes a student expulsion, discussion of employment of a certificated public employee. Third item is conference with legal counsel related to anticipated litigation, and then conference with labor negotiators. We do have one public comment card related to closed session, and so this is where we begin. So I would like to invite Ms. Tawan's Country to come up for her public comment.
Thank you, President. I want to make sure I understand you correctly. This is not an unagendized public comment. This is only for closed session. Okay, then in that case, a lot of the items that I have to share with you cannot be spoken. I do want to make sure all the family members who are here to celebrate, as well as anyone who is ready to leave out there, there has been consistent Danville police notice to my phone. There is a heavily armed robbery suspect out there. When you're driving, please be aware. The description from my text says the suspect is described as a Hispanic male with a beard, wearing a white hat with a red emblem, a blue jacket, a gray or white shirt, and dark Adidas sweatpants. If seen, call sheriff's dispatch. Again, he's heavily armed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we need to accept the closed session agenda, so can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Board Member Bratt and seconded by Board Member Ordway. Roll call vote, Board Member Ordway,
Aye.
Board Member Bratt,
Aye.
Board Member Hurd.
Aye.
Board Member Banzi.
Aye.
The motion passes 4-0.
Okay, and with that, we will adjourn to closed session and return around 7 o'clock.